Good evening, everyone. I got the links posted for in the chat for the items I'm going to use tonight. Um, so we got a little bit of housekeeping to do. I saw Shirley's here. Hello, Shirley. Just gonna wait for everything to catch up, get things going here. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Wednesday. That's not Wednesday. I'm used to being Wednesday. Happy Friday. Woohoo! Friday night. I have my PJs on. You'll have to forgive me. All right. Okay, I hear me, so I'm getting going here. I do have the link to the store, the QR code up in the store available. And then I wanted to mention the um, buy one, get one sale is, oh, I forgot one link. Hold on, oh, no. Buy one, get one sale is going on through Sunday. If you buy the stamp, get the die free promo. This is the last time that this sale will be. Hi, Luann. So I will post that here quick. And then other thing I want to mention, I'm going to pull it up here on the screen quick before I switch over, is there are new mystery boxes available. These mystery boxes are the Brutus Monroe and Partner brand cards. There's card stock, dies, sticker, chipboard, home decor, and embellishments. It is $75 for it for subscribers, I believe. I'm not sure. I mean, I know that was the price. That's the price that it's $75. I don't know what the subscriber price is. I'm not sure. But hold on one second. I'm going to grab that link here because I just had it. Box. I just had it, and of course I lost it. So sorry about that. I am going to tell you, just so you know, that I had a very excited puppy this afternoon when I came home for lunch, and he and I had a little craziness. All right, here I go back to the chat. Hi, Penny. He was really excited when he came home, and he was jumping and jumping and jumping, and I told him to sit down, and I was waiting for him to calm down, and he collided with me, and he kind of scratched me right here, so I look like I might have a little bit of a black eye, but I really don't, I promise. So it's just a little scratched up. He got real excited. I've been taking him for walks at lunch. So all right, I'm going to switch this camera around, and like I said, I have the links in on my channel. They're not there. I do want you to know that these are affiliate links that I have shared, so that doesn't cost you anything. I do get a little compensation if you purchase something off of there, which I appreciate. And I am using items that were sent to me by Brutus Monroe. So I wanted to get all that housekeeping done, and let's get started. I'm going to move that over, get this little QR code out of the way. So we're going to use some Not Your Mamas, but I thought first thing what I would do tonight is show some of the projects I've been using with the Spring Awakening release. So let's move these things off the side. All right, so I had shared this one on social media. This one is the Doodle bookmarks. I used some of the rainbow, the pink through purple of the new pastel chroma mists to spray on them, and then I cut off the black border, and then I just put it on a card base. And this is from the Spring Awakening stamp set. So just a kind of plain, not plain, but clean and simple card. So I really love how this one turned out. And then I have the Spring Awakening stamp set. I did I think it's called a split negative or something card, where I stamped it with the amethyst, which is the embossing powder of the month. And then I stamped it also in white, the alabaster, and then did Crown Me. And then I cut it down the middle and put it together. So let me see if you can get some of that shine in there from that alabaster, from that amethyst. It's got sparklies in it. It's very sparkly. And then I just used a bunch of crystals. So, and then I did make this is also the Crown Me. So there's that one. And then I know I shared this one already. This one, I think I don't remember which one of the layering stencils. Is this the Addison? Let me grab it here quick. Yes, this is the Addison. And I used the layering stencil and I stenciled it. And then before I moved it, hi mom, I took the Spring Awakening stamp set and stamped the flowers with Raven ink and then covered it with fairy dust embossing powder. And then for the leaves, I did, I think it's Overzealous. And then I used the Tangled Ornament stamp set and did the same thing. So it had a little bit different pattern. So I'm gonna just, there's that one. I really love how this one turned out. And then I used the die of the month and the paper pad from the box to create this mini slim card. I wanted this paper pad to really shine. And so I wanted that to be the focal point. And then I just used the Hello Butterfly cutting die. This is the die of the month. I used some midnight cardstock and then some vellum so you could still see that through there. And then I added some crystals. I also had some extra flowers, so I just put them together on a card. This one's not on a card panel yet because I don't know if I'm gonna, or it's just a panel. I don't know if I'm gonna do this way or this way. It's just some Not Your Mama's at Midnight, and then this is Jurassic. And if you look, and then this is the little flower doodles that came in the box. And I sprayed the whole thing with Ornament Gold Chroma Mist. So it's very shimmery and shiny. And I did not put a sentiment on it because I don't know where this is going yet. So I thought I'd put it on the inside, and I wanted that to this just to be its the whole, the focal point. And then I did pop up them on some foam. There's some on one foam, and then these are on double foam. So let's see. I have two more to show you here. Now this one I made on a background with the chroma mists. I just sprayed it. Then I sprayed some of that. The pastel ones, I used the chroma opaque or the ornamental gold over the top, and then I used the blooming hearts, and I used the Raven embossing powder to put that on, and then I used some of the flowers from it to put on the sides, and I just love how this one turned out. This was inspired by Scrapbook Cards in Today, the winter edition. There was a sketch, I think, for a Mindy Egan card, and I used that sketch kind of as my jumping off point. And then last but not least, this is something I'll be making every month. I have to do January's yet, but I'm making a little mini album using all of the um, subscription products. So this is the stamp of the month with the Heart Locket embossing powder, which comes with a Stamp Club Plus. This is from the Spring Awakening die set, and it's the Amethyst, which is the embossing powder of the month. And then on this side, I created a pocket. The only thing added to this at all was cardstock. The rest of it, this is more of that Heart Locket. This is the pattern paper that was in the box. Hi, Annie. The chipboard, I guess I added, and then I stamped the Spring Awakenings on there. And then I used the die of the month to cut some flowers and the stencil of the month for a little tag to kind of put in. So every month I'm going to create one of these and then put them on a jump ring, and I'll have like a little album to show me all of the subscription products for the year. And then last but not least, the last card I want to show you is the other day, there was a post on social media. Let me put those cards out of the way. And somebody was talking about the 2x2 paper pads, the little shimmery snow paper pads. And I hadn't pulled mine out yet, so I made a quick card. And I did share it, but this is the card I made. I just cut them down, or I just put them on some midnight cardstock. I used the Snowflake Swirl, which I believe is now out of stock, stamp set with fairy dust, did a little ink blending, and I used the mitten die, did some ink blending, covered that with some fairy dust, and just made this quick, fun slimline card. So, all right, let's get into card making now. Thank you for letting me show you some of my projects. I cut down some Not Your Mama's cardstock, and I'm using the cup from the Cup of Sunshine cutting die. We're just going to use the cup for this one. Well, thank you, Emily. And I cut it down out of Not Your Mama's, and we're going to make a porcelain teacup out of it. So I have a couple pieces of scrap paper, and I have the some no diving ink from Simon Hurley, and I'm just going to do some ink swiping on here. and make sure, oh, this piece looks like it's been die cut, so this might not be the piece I can use. There we go. The other side had some marks on it and I need just flat. So hope everyone had a good week. It was a fun week. It finally warmed up a little bit. It got to 26 today, and I had to have some fun. My boss is down south, and he sends Snapchats once in a while of the weather, and that's 76. And I was talking to his daughter today while we were outside the office, and I said, you know what? It's nice out. It's almost swimsuit weather. I should send something. So I went outside, and I had jeans on because it's Friday. And I pulled my jeans up to my knees, sat down on a big puddle of melted snow next to it, and put my feet in it, and took a picture and said, and I sent a snap to my boss, and I said, when the weather is warm and your boss is away, you go sit by the pool. And I sent it to him. I thought it was really fun because, and you could see the snowbank and the gas station across the street. So obviously you could tell I was sitting in the parking lot. And a couple people drove by and they looked at me really funny. And then he sent me a snap back and, like LOL, funny, but he knows I like the winter and I would rather have it cooler than hotter because I can always put more clothes on and warm up than I can when it's super hot. So I just did some direct to paper because these are going to be the parts of our cup. I'm going to wipe this off. I've got some citrus garland that I'm using right now. So let's do that quick. And then we are going to do a little bit of die cutting on screen. Like I said, I did a little bit off camera, and then we might end up making a couple cards tonight. So I've got this little piece here. And then the cup pieces for this are this little tiny, this is the bottom of the cup if you want. Hi, Tia, how are you? And then I didn't cut these apart. One of these is a stem, and this could be the top of the cup. Because they're little, I like to just leave them together. If I have an extra piece, I have an extra piece. I mean, I don't need a blue stem, but we'll do that quick. Cut those out. And then I'm actually going to cut out two because we might make two cups tonight. I might change my card up a little bit. I haven't decided. Or we might make more than one card if we can. So we're going to pull those out quick. So I don't want to let you guys forget about the events page, events.brutusmonroe.com, or you can also go under Brutus Monroe and go under classes to go over there and sign up for Spring Fling. And I know that there are some things that are available, and then on that site, some paper pads for the Spring Fling and some other items. So if you want to pop over there and check that out. I'm just gonna pop this in here. Cut those out. And then I cannot believe that this is we're going into the last week of February already. It seems just crazy. To me, it's been going really fast. And then I wanted to show you, this is one from last night, and see how far back it's, I guess it's hard to see on camera, but this looks darker than this. This is dry compared to this one. This one's still a little wet. So Simon Hurley's inks do stay a little bit wet, a little bit longer. So if you're going to heat emboss with them, you might need to hit them with a heat gun to dry them a little bit if you don't want your embossing powder on everything. So, all right, got our little handle here. I need to cut out one more. So thought Fletch was going to maybe join us. If he does, I will tell you, you may hear a bunch of noise. He has a box from one of my Brutus Monroe orders on the floor that he finally has discovered. And he knows it's his. And he decided to, yesterday or the day before, just tear it apart. So he's been up here kind of chewing on it and all that fun stuff. So if you hear a bunch of noise, I'm not going to kind of shoo him away, but I don't think he will. But you never know. All right, so we've got our little pieces. I wanted to get that out of the way first, if that's okay, because we need those. And now we're going to do our stamping. if I can get the last little piece of cup out. So does anyone have any fun plans this summer or this weekend? I'm going to be doing some crafting in particular. That's kind of all I'm planning on doing. Okay, I'm going to use my Big Misty for this because I want to rearrange what I'm going to do. You can obviously see I've been using this to stamp out some images from the stamp set. Here is my little cup. I have a little piece of removable or tape or repositional tape. I'm going to just push this down a little bit just to hold it in place. And then we're going to grab the Spring Awakening stamp set. And I tested this out last night, and I actually used this stamp. So basically, we're going to make a cup of china, a china cup. Now, you could do this however you wanted. Last night, I had already put on my pieces. So tonight, I'm going to do it a little bit different, and we're going to, I'm just going to stamp it on this image like this. So it's going to be a little different than I'll show you what my sample looked like. And you guys can decide which one you like better. This little anti-static powder tool. And then I'm going to use the No Diving ink pad because to me, this reminds me of a china color. Like if you were going to do true china color, that's just the blue and white. And we're just going to stamp this down. Now mine are dry, so it's going to take me a couple inks stamping. So I know that there is like craft roulette, I think, is going on and things like that. So I hope this is an okay time for people. And now that I'm on a Friday night, but I have a little bit more time to prepare and get things ready for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to quickly grab this stamp and rearrange. Oh, that sounds fun. I don't know if I know what that one's about. I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to put the leaves over here on this side a little bit. I think I want to use these leaves. And we're just going to put them on just the edge of my stamp set. That sounds like a lot of fun, Penny. And I'm working fairly quickly because even though his inks stay wet, I don't want them to dry, and they can dry. So I'm going to grab my fairy dust, one of my favorite embossing powders, the fairy dust. And I'm going to quickly cover my, and now if you really wanted to make the shimmering, you could do the whole thing with the fairy dust embossing powder. But I just want to do just the pattern. So we're going to quick cover this up. So that'll be very fun. Just feet separates until it's not shiny and until it's all shiny. And there we go. We got this little teacup that has this like fun pattern on it. But right now it looks like a bowl. So like you could totally use this like this. It could be a bowl. I know Jennifer McGuire used it upside down like this and made it into a vase like this, which would be fun too. You could do this with other cardstocks and some white and make it like use a different color and use white alabaster. Well, now here is where we're going to add some of the fine details. So I'm going to try I tried to unplug it tonight finally so that it would work. We're going to add my little glue plus. I think, like I said, I had filled this with Barely Arts glue, and I think that was one of the reasons why it was sticking for me. And I played with it a little bit before the live so that, let me grab a piece of paper so you guys can, I don't know if this is better or not. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick I didn't warn you, I'm sorry if it is. And then I'm just going to kind of put this on. I'll pull this up closer. You can see this is just a detail you don't have to use, but it's a fun detail. And then let me show you if I go up close. See how that just makes the edge of the cup. And then we can go down here at the bottom. And sorry, it's concentrating. And the small piece at the bottom. And then I just kind of wiggle it. And I mean, you could put it around however you want. You want it at the bottom. You could fit it in the little rim. But look at how fun that is right there. I mean, you could even almost make this into like a little skirt. Could almost be a skirt if you had the right the right dye for it. So, all right. And then last but not least, we have the handle. Now the handle is a little bit tricky. So I will say if you want to have 2 cups, so you want one on each side, you would have to color it on this side so that the handle could go on this side, which I think, no, I'm not going to do that tonight. We're going to just put it here. Now, if you look at the packaging, that's what I like to do. It just has it kind of touching the edges. I am going to go ahead and put it over the edge just a hair. I know it's going to be very hard to see. So, but that is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to go ahead, grab my die grab my little dye piece where I want it to touch and add just a little bit of glue. It's one thing the glue press is good for. So just a little bit of glue. I don't know if you can really even see that. And I'm going to go ahead and touch it where it needs to be. I'm going to use my glass mat for this because I think I told you guys before I did magnetize my glass mat by putting a piece of metal underneath it. And I'm just going to put one of my little things on top of it. And while we're doing that, I think we'll go ahead and make another one, if that's okay, but we're going to use a different, where's my Misty? A different pattern for this one. Just so you have an options of what you want to do. Pull this off, and I like to just kind of throw some of my stamps on a block while I'm using that and when I'm stamping, especially when I'm live, and then clean them afterwards. So I think what we're going to do is I'm actually going to use the Happy Hearts die. That's the stamp of the month. And we're going to use the Heart Locket embossing powder. So I'm just going to, I don't know, maybe not. No, maybe I don't. I want to do a flower. It's a little too big for what I want. I want the flowers. So what I'm going to do is we're going to let's grab this big mama, the big mama. And then I just kind of looked at what the kind of pattern it is. And then we will do blue for this one as well, just because they're going to look the same, but yet they're going to be different. So they might be coordinating pieces of China, not exactly the same. And I'm just going to ink the whole thing up because I have paper underneath. Go ahead and press that down. All right. Okay, I got my little press here. Perfect press here. I need to use that. That helps. Okay, and then I need a little bit more right in there because, like I said, I really do need to ink my pads. Maybe that's what I'll have to do tonight. Hi, Misty. How are you? Welcome. I am finding the one thing I'm going to have to do tonight, this weekend, is re-ink my ink pads. All right, that should be good. All right, here we go. So here is my second cup. And look at, by just changing the design, the stamp, look at how fun. Oops. Okay, come on. It's too much white. Let me move that out of the way. It doesn't like white. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to throw some fairy dust on this quick so we can heat set this so it is shiny and got all its glitter. And then we'll put our cup together, get our card put together. I don't know if we're going to use them both because of my idea for what I wanted to do, but I wanted to show you a different look. We can use this one on another card. Okay. So I'm not going to necessarily put this all together because I might change this up and use this a different way. But I wanted to show you this. So here is the one I made last night, and it's bad. I cut it wrong. So you can see I cut it wrong up here. And what I did is I took the little flower stamp and I just used the flower edges, and then I used the little flower petals to throw in some I don't know if this was breakup blue. I think this was the breakup blue. It was either that or it was the clear skies, and I think it's the clear skies, and I thought the breakup blue would be better. So what I mean by that is there's these little these little flowers in the Bloomin' Heart set that you could go in and fill in here and there. And you could fill in the pattern if you wanted, but that's what I did with this one from last night. Like I said, I my tester, I got glue everywhere and everything, but at least you kind of know. It kind of almost looks like this is a face. So we've got that. So next, what we're going to do is get our card panel. We're going to use the Bloomin' Hearts. Let's get this off to the side here. My card panel is right here. I already have the Bloomin' Hearts stamp in my Misty here, my mini Misty here. And it is lined up where I want it. But what I did is we're going to use the heart, and the heart is going to have, it's going to have that cup. I'm going to have this like coming out of my stamp. That was the idea of what I wanted to do. So I'm going to go ahead and use my anti-static color tool. Now, if you were in the Create Your Own ending event a couple years ago, we had it was the sunshine one, and we had, I'm trying to find where's my inks here, quick. Oh, Gina's class had a bucket and sunshine, and I think there was a stamp set called you fill my cup, or fill something about filling. I don't have it with me because the stamp set isn't available now, but if you have that, that would have a great sentiment to use with this. Or if you have one in your stash that says you fill my cup, or my heart is full, or something like that, my cup is full, anything like that would work with this. But I think this is just kind of fun. So this is Rosy Cheeks. Like I said, you can tell, but I need to re-ink my ink pad because you can see the white spaces. But I'm going to be honest with you, I have not used the Cup of Friendship yet, or Cup of Sunshine die yet, the one that we just used tonight until tonight. I haven't even had a chance to sit down and do my CYOE cards yet. It's on my list for one of those days when you fill my bucket. Okay, I thought that's what it was called. I knew that there was a sunshine and things like that, but I couldn't remember if there was a bucket on it. So thank you, Penny. I know the stencil was still in stock a little bit, but I know the stamp set is not. But if you have we're going to use this and the Happy Hearts one. So what we're doing is I'm just going to use the Rosy Cheeks, and like I said, multiple stamping because I have dry ink pads. And then I grabbed Love Struck because what I want to do is I want to add just a little bit, not really the rock and roll technique, but I'm just swiping it on the edges here because then I won't get the harsh lines so much. And then you can take a brush if you really want to. Yeah, I love how you fill my bucket with, okay, you glue like a bucket up. Okay, thank you. Sucking buckets up. All right, that makes sense. But it's like you fill my bucket with, and then you could have like love for the heart if you wanted to, is what I was thinking. Yes, I should have pulled that out just so I could have said that. I appreciate it. Penny, you are a whiz. When I can't look things up. So you're not going to be able to see a huge difference, but it's a little darker on the edges and it's lighter on the inside. I am going to try and do just a little bit more because there's a couple light spots here in the middle. I stand up, see if we can get those last couple of spots. I didn't want a huge change in the ink color, but just a little bit. So there's just a little bit on the edges. And then it had love to. Okay, I thought so. I love this little heart thing. Is this isn't a little heart, but I love this heart. I want to play with it some more. So I'm anxious to hopefully get my butt in gear and craft tomorrow. I always say it, and then I get a little bit done, and then I don't know, I bake or I take a nap with the dog. But tomorrow I am hoping to play a lot. So, all right. So now that was the fairy dust again. I'm just gonna peanut boss, and it's just magic. I love watching it. And I love using the fairy dust for things like this because it just adds that extra little sparkle, that little sparkle and shine. Okay. And then look at our beautiful card. Now, I don't think I got that exactly centered. It will work because we'll grab our little cutting machine, and I will tell you mine is very tight right now because it was loose and I cut it down. I tightened it. So my guillotine is very, very tight right now. So it's going to stick up straight. Oh, Misty, it's one of my favorites. I do like it because it's that clear sparkle and it's just fun. And it's one of those that when you cover the whole panel, just pretty. All right, we're going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. It looks like I need a little bit more, maybe off this side. It's not perfectly centered, but it'll be close enough. Throw those little scraps away. Then we have this. Now here's where I'm not 100% sure if I want to layer it on or if I want to put it on another white, like on just a white card base. So I'm sorry, I'm going to shake the camera a minute. Hi, Annie, how are you? So here's just a white card base. I'm thinking I'm going to probably layer it on something, or I'm going to ink blend something, but I haven't decided. So that is the process of our card here, is that we have this. And then I really, really like the sentiment that you make my heart happy. It looks like a topiary. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I love this sentiment. So I thought this would be a fun sentiment to include with this. Whether I put it right in the middle or we put it around, I haven't really made my decision up yet on there. I thought I would probably put that up on foam tape, but let us see about putting this on. I'm thinking this might be too bright. I'm thinking pink lemonade might be okay. We might ink blend a little bit. You're making dinner. We had pizza tonight. So flamingo is very light. It's not quite the right pink. But what I can do, and I'm kind of thinking that the pink is too much. So maybe we need to do C, lagoon or C. Let's try. I'm going to try the C first, just because I can darken that. I'm thinking we want the blue. I'm thinking we're going to do blue. So what I'm going to do is we're going to cut this down, and then I'll use the ink to darken the edges. And I won't have to go quite as much because it's already started. Midnight will be a little too dark because it's the darker color than 4 1/4. Then no diving. So we're going to grab the no diving and an ink blending brush. Where's my dark blue? Quick. We really just have to do the edges. We just have to darken them a little bit. And it's just enough. So if you haven't done this before, I have not really done this before. I know die cutting is kind of not really, I don't want to say a fad, but a trend is the word I guess I think I'm looking for. And I know a lot of people use colored cardstock and then they ink blend to add a little depth. You can also do that with some cardstock, so you don't have to start from white. You already have that little bit of color underneath. So if you haven't done that before, hope maybe you learned a little tip there. If you have done it before, yay. because I recently just started doing that. I always used to do, white or direct to paper, which would work too. But the China pattern per se is a little lighter because of the fairy dust embossing powder on it. So it will match that pattern a little bit more. All right. And then you could go even a step further and make more sparkle by adding the fairy dust to the edges of the mat. But I don't want all that extra sparkle on the edge. I want the sparkle to stay on the card itself this time. So let us clean up our base here quick. Awesome, there we go. And then, so here's I'll make sure that's good and dry. And then we have see how this will go on top. And then it ties in nicely with this color. This is a darker color, but you've got the hints of the dark. So we're gonna go ahead and put that down. So I'm gonna do that. Let's add this first. I don't think I put this on my stand correctly, so now it's acting up a little bit. Let's see. Blow some air into it, see if that helps. Nope, it's not. It's being dumb because I didn't put it on there. Like I said, once you fill it, depending on the glue you use, it may not like you. Especially when you're live. It's when I'm not live, it's not a problem because I just grab a stick and poke it. But I mean, you can see even in my little Gina bottles, sometimes that ink, I don't always cover them when I'm crafting. I keep them open. And I found out this morning, I left these open last night. So they are just a little bit, but that takes like no time. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, we ordered from our local pizza place tonight. One of our local pizza places. We have a couple of pizza places in the area. I'm in for our small town. We have two like places that make pizza. And then we have a place that makes up the town next town up that makes a take and bake pizza that we really like. So we kind of rotate between all of them. So, okay. So we've got that. Now I'm going to grab some foam tape. This is from our big foam container. Like I said, don't want to forget to tell you about don't forget about the mystery boxes. I did link them in the description box below, and can put the code up if you need me to again. But they are there, and they have cardstock in them and embellishments, and there's other brands, brand partners in there. There's chipboard, there's dies, there's stickers, there's home decor. So if you are like that, sometimes the fun thing about getting a mystery box is that you get some stuff you might not have normally bought and tried, and then you can kind of mix and match it all kind of like together and try different things. Okay, so there's the basis of our card. We need a sentiment and some bling. So I put this pin away before I drop it on the floor and Fletcher, I step on it. See, it's very sticky. It doesn't want to even go in. I grabbed some of the flat back crystals. I love them. This is the Blue Shift. How much are they? They're $75. If you want a link, Annie, I can send you a link after since you're cooking dinner. I can text you a link if you want. All right, so I got the flat back crystals. I like to put them in my lid, and then as I need them, I shake this up a little bit, and then we'll flip them the right way. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to add a few of them. I'm not sure we're going to go a little crazy with them. Hello, Lisa. So I hope you don't mind. We're going to go a little bling crazy here on our little teacup. We're going to put one on each one of these little flower petals because we have a very fancy. Now you don't see those two, so we're not going to put them there. Now, if anyone who knows, you want to get your goggles out, I'm going to come with my pokey and stick these down. And then, like I said, the buy the stamp set, get the coordinating die for free is good through Sunday night. And once it goes, we had it last weekend. This is it. It will not be going again. So if this is your chance, if there's a die or a stamp set you really liked, you get the coordinating die for free. I did put that up in the chat earlier. Okay, I will send. Oh, baked chicken chimichangas with guac and then plant-based cheese sauces. Okay, well, I eat the guacamole for me because I haven't had it in a long time, and I want some. I love guacamole is one of my favorite foods. For those of you who is like the top, I will give Jess, the pickle queen, because I would eat guacamole over pickles on anything, but pickles are in my top 3 favorite foods, and then peanut butter. Those are my top 3 favorite foods. Okay, so I added a bunch of bling, which might be too much for some people, but I think it's kind of fun. And then I think I might add some bling in here, but I want to add my sentiment first. You had chicken and dumplings, and all the kids, oh, that is fun, Misty. That is exciting. I ran into our youngest tonight. He goes to the gym next to my office, and I was coming back from running an errand for my boss, and he was pulling in the gym, and I popped over and talked to him because tomorrow he's coming over because a friend of ours, my son is an Eagle Scout, but our friend of ours, their son has got his Eagle Scout, and we're going to the Eagle Scout ceremony tomorrow together. And we kind of, push this kid a little bit, tease this kid a little bit. And then the little boy, well, when he was a little boy, he's not obviously anymore. He told my son that he was going to earn more merit badges than him when he was little, because my son was out of Scouts by the time he joined the actual Boy Scouts. He was a Cub Scout still. And so we would tease him about it and this and that. Well, he is officially been an Eagle Scout, and tomorrow is his ceremony. So I'm really excited. So we do have to do that tomorrow afternoon. So I will get to see him tomorrow. I'm sure the oldest will probably stop by here this weekend. It's been a couple of days since we've seen him. And then the other 2 we don't see quite as often. The girls got their own lives. My daughter lives far, far away. So, and they are got lots going on. So they're not in town. All right, I need a piece of scrap paper. I don't think I've had chicken and dumplings for a long time, but that sounds good. All right, we're going to stamp this, I believe, in that same ink. And then I'm going to fussy cut it out. I do want to say, do not to forget that the CYOE challenge is still going on for this month. It is chipboard, using some sort of chipboard on your project of any kind. You can also use, okay, I don't want to use the Love Struck. It's too dark. If you don't have access to chipboard, you can kind of make a chipboard item in by using some like cardboard, like packaging, like cereal boxes and stuff. Use a die cut them out. That would work too. But we have all that fun new chipboard out that are companions for our stamps and dies, our stamp sets. And so I thought that would be a fun challenge. Okay. You guys, I'm not having a good night at this. I moved it. So we're going to use the rosy cheeks. And then, awesome. There we go. And I'm not going to, you could use black to really make it stand out, which we might need to, but I think actually, maybe we want to stamp it directly onto my card base. I'm going to change my mind. Am I allowed to do that? So I'm just going to grab this little, I have this little piece of acetate. You could use stamp packaging. This one is from Tailored Expressions. I know Simon Says Stamp has them. Like stamp packaging works too. And I just use it to cover so I don't have to clean my ink off. And I think I am going to switch to black. We are going to switch to the Raven ink. Make it stand out just a little bit more. Now, why does it look kind of... Nope. Okay. I was thinking I might have a fuzz on there. I did that the other day. I was stamping something and there was a piece of fuzz and it really upset me because I didn't clean my fuzz off and it ruined my stamp. Oh, Noelle, it's okay. You're fine. We got some time left and it will be available for a replay. It's Friday, so I'm not in any hurry to go anywhere. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I only have to get up because the dog's gonna make me take him for a walk. So here's the basis of our first card. We used hi Heather, the Cup of Sunshine die, and I used the Spring Awakening stamp set to make a China pattern. And then we used the Blooming Hearts, and I used the Happy Heart sentiment for this. So here is this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna kind of start a second card if that's okay with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to kind of play a little bit. I've got this piece of cardstock. This is some more Not Your Mama's, and it is 6.5 inches. We're going to go ahead and put this in our MISTI here, and I'm going to grab the Happy Hearts CD. Thank you, Noelle. Or Nikki. I know you go by Nikki because from the lives. And we're just going to kind of, okay. I'm going to start right in the middle. This is going to be kind of a willy-nilly fun free-for-all stamp. I'm going to grab a couple ink pads if you give me a second. Orange, purple, and green. All right. I've got the rainbow of colors. We're going to make a quick color rainbow stamp set using this Happy Hearts die. And we're just going to make it kind of fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. I am going to start with yellow. I try to start with yellow anytime I'm going to use colors, like a rainbow of colors, because it's the lightest. Yellow, peaches, things like that, sometimes pink. And we're just going to go ahead and stamp it out. And I don't know, Misty, if you're still here, I think we might end up covering this one all in that fairy dust and then see what it looks like. All right, and here's where I'm going to grab, like I said, you can grab packaging, like the acetate, like this. I have these grids. I've had these for a while. I'm going to grab the grid so it's not super worried about it. And we're going to overlap these a little bit. Not going to do anything fancy. It can go in different directions. And then we'll go with the orange. Awesome. That's awesome. I have a couple. So I did not get one this time. I have one from a Create Your Own Ending event a couple of years ago. I have a white one. I don't normally wear them, which is funny. I should, but I just don't. I like them. They decorate. I used to have them hanging on my windows as my curtains. And my old craft room I did. I think when I was cleaning the other day, I put them somewhere. So I need to find them. Okay. Yep. We're going to do all the fairy dust. So then we got this. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to the other side now. And we're going to do, it's like I said, this is going to be kind of willy-nilly with the way the hearts are going to be. I don't really care. They don't have to go, I don't want them to be perfect because then they look different when you have just a tiny bit off. You have to have, like, when you have them all lined up perfectly, they tend to be, if you have the littlest bit, it kind of stands out like a sore thumb. So this one's Fake Plant. I first used Shooting Star, then I used Traffic Cone. I don't use orange very often. Usually I kind of make my own rainbow using my red, blue, and yellow inks. But this time we're going to use the full gambit. All right, Misty, we're going to do that. I'll show you. So you'll know you'll have to get some fairy dust. I prefer fairy dust or icicle. I prefer the fairy dust just because I think it's so much fun with the sparkle. Icicle's just plain clear. It's a bad thing. I use that a lot, especially when I'm going to watercolor. But I'm trying to move the ones I've used out of the way, but I do use I've been trying, fairy dust has just been, yeah. All right, so I'm trying to use a little bit deeper colors. There are lighter colors that you can use if you're not into the deep jewel tones. That would be like Guppy and maybe Slippery, the one Wet, or Over the Moon and Overzealous. Crown Me, you'd have to probably use Triple Berry, which is a layer of a pinky purple versus dark purple. So I want purple color. I think we're going to do orange. We are going to do red and pink. I'm going to do red and pink because we're going to go through the whole thing. So I'm going to use the I don't want the Love Struck because that's a little bit muted. We're going to grab the Bee Sting because the Bee Sting's a little bit deeper red. Oh, forgot to take my acetate off. So this one's going to be fairly quick, but it doesn't take long once you get started, especially if you have that little piece of acetate. You can just kind of wipe things off. I will say one thing I love about the Simon Hurley inks is that they blend beautifully with each other as they kind of stamp over each other. So you really don't have to worry about it too much. You can get a little bit of a muddy color, but not really. So, all right. And then we're going to do pink. And I'm going to do the pink and I'm going to move this off a little bit. So it's going to go off. I think we're going to go down with it because I'm going to do the purple up. All right. So if you didn't know, you can also put your paper outside of the MISTI a little bit. I'll move that over so you can see that. And then keep stamping so you can stamp off the edge. It won't hurt anything. So this isn't a super jewel toned pink, but it's darker than the other pinks that I have. This one is Rosy Cheeks. So I did not link all of the colors. I did the two blues, I think, below. But I also thought it would be really fun to cut them out of a variety of color, a lot of a heart out of cardstocks and colored cardstocks and stamp it with some like fairy dust or the heart locket or something like that. I'm going to put I'm going to do this one up and try to do it a little bit more straight for the purple. And then you'd have a rainbow with the like the heart locket, or you could do different embossing powders. And then this would be a very easy image to fussy cut out, whether you wanted the border or not, because it's, straight line. Or if you have a fancy machine that will, like a scan and cut. So, all right. So there we go. So there, look at how fun this is. Now, if I did this quickly enough, I could probably cover this and just the hearts would get the fairy dust. And I'm going to show you that. Let's see what happens. If it doesn't work, I'm okay with it. I can brush it off. Oh, I made my chat go away. I want to see the chat. Okay. So let's see, but we might do the full panel anyway. See, it does. It's his inks last just long enough that it's just on. I mean, you can see some glitter spots on the side because I didn't use any anti-static, but it's just on that. So let's heat set this and see what we think. But I'm thinking I might make the whole thing. I love me some fairy dust embossing, obviously. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Now we're going to do the whole thing. I'm going to try to get you to kind of see where you can see. It's going to be hard to in the light because it doesn't like, cameras don't like to do the shiny stuff. Okay. But now what we're going to do, we're going to go a little crazy. I'm going to cut it down a little bit because I like my card panels to be like 3.25, and I'm more at the bottom, so we're going to cut a little bit off the top. And then I'm going to cut just a little bit extra off this one side because we have a lot more purple than we do pink. There we go. So it's just kind of eyeballing it. Now, this is where it's going to be the fun part. Gonna go. Now I'm using my glass mat because this is easier to clean. If I use a piece of paper, you're going to get embossing. You can get embossing, especially if you don't have your embossing powder in a container. You get embossing powder all over that paper and then you kind of waste it. So we're just going direct to paper. And I'm just going to hit it all over my embossing ink. Like I said, I use my inks a lot, you guys. So sometimes they dry out a little bit. Plus, we've been having the wood stove go, so it's drying out the air just a little bit. All right. Now, our embossing ink stays wet for quite a while, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up my surface first. I'm not going to worry about putting the powder on it right away, just because. And then we're going to go ahead and cover this whole panel and just wait till you see the, like I said, the shimmer is hard to see on camera, but we're going to do our best. Now, if you wanted your sentiment, like you were going to do a true 1-layer card, I would stamp my sentiment before I put the embossing powder on, but I don't care about that. So, all right, let's see. I don't know if you guys are going to get to see the magic like I am, but the nice part is that the images tend to end up being a little bit thicker even more because I already heat embossed them once. And of course, I do have a boo-boo right there. I got some blue ink. Oh, there's a spot. Maybe. So, just got to kind of twist it in the mirror so I can see I have a little bit of a shadow here from my camera. Twist this around. Go to this side. Ooh, there's a fuzz. Fuzz off of them. Melting very nicely. So as it gets dull, you want to go until it's shiny. And then what I do is I just kind of hold this off to the side and I just twist it. I'm going to pull it off camera for a minute. Just twist it one more time. Especially the white areas. You can see the sparkle? Awesome. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. You can see the shine. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but the whole thing is super shiny. I mean, where you see the shine yeah, see, look at, you can see up here at the top. Look at that sparkle. Isn't that pretty? So the whole thing is now sparkly. So you can just do it like a heart and do it like if you did like use a die, like a heart die, like we had in the freebie a couple weeks ago, those little hearts. You could make little sparkly hearts, kind of like your own little glitter paper if they were colorful. Especially if you can't find a color that matches. Okay, so we're going to, I love, one of my favorite things to do for my rainbowy type cards is to put it on black. I just think it helps it pop. So we're going to cut this down. Yes, it's like I said, fairy dust is one of my favorite. I'm going to go ahead and put this up. I'm going to grab, we might do a little craziness here. Might do a little more craziness. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to cross our fingers. And I'm going to cut this down to 3.25. Is that, how much did we cut this to? Oh, this is 3.25. Okay, so I'm actually going to trim this down just a little bit more. I'm going to cut this down to 3. Not 3, about 3 1/8. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this down to just about a hair line. I'm going just past, it's hard to see. There's no line here, but the 6, I'm going to kind of go to, it's almost a 6th and an 8th. And I'm take that off the purple side. So it's very, very light. And then I will cut this side down first. And I'm going to go, I used my other to measure to put like a 6 1/4. And then this side we'll do 3 1/4. And we should be good. Now here's where you have some options. See, now like I love just that little bit of that black border. So let me grab a white piece. See how it just pops with that little bit? I love rainbow cards on a black border. Now here's where your options are. You could stamp a sentiment with alabaster and then cut it down and make a little strip. We're gonna go a little crazy here, you guys. I hit my thing again. We're going to, I have not done this on a full panel like this before, but we're gonna stamp and heat emboss on it. We're gonna try it out. Okay, we got a Misty. We got a, I might have missed a spot right there. That's okay. We'll take our little our stamp out. Like I said, I have a little block up here that I put things on. I don't even care about the anti-static powder, but the reason I'm going to do it is because we're using black. And I'm going to really do this good. I am going to go ahead and use my little piece of acetate here. And instead of that, you make my heart happy, because that's kind of a chunky one. We're going to use one of our inks, one of our other stamp sets from this release. And grab one of those. And I am going to do that. You are simply incredible. We're going to line that up. And this has grid marks on it, so I can line it up so it's straight. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I can do this. We're going to try it. Oh yeah, it's Friday night. It's a little crazy. Move that up a little bit. All right, here we go. So where's my Raven ink? There it is. Now I'm going to be careful because it is embossing ink, so it's slippery. But I'm going to stamp it a few times. Try not to push too much, just because it is a nice sentiment and you can squish it. And now it's not perfect. Like you can see, it's not perfect. This is where we're going to take the Raven detail ink, and I love it, but I just don't use it because it doesn't like me. Add it to the top, and then did good simple embossing powder on it. Now, I mean, in that it's actually not a lot of strays because of that other sticky stuff here. Let's get this out of the way. Oh my gosh, you guys, don't even look at my computer. It's so full of stuff. Let's heat set this. There might be one little stray right there. We better catch that quick. Oh, please don't. I don't have my glasses on to see that. There, I got it. I think I keep hitting, what I do is I keep hitting my my keypad, and that's why that chat keeps running. Now it's not going to be super, it is a little bit, like I said, if you can see that, you can read it. It is a little bit spread out. It's not super crisp. That's because I did embossing powder on embossing powder, but I really do like it. And it's there, and it's shiny, and it's not underneath. So it doesn't have the sparkle, which is kind of a fun effect, because then the sparkle is part of the card and not that sentiment, and it doesn't take, the sentiment stands out a little bit more. In person, it does that way anyway. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to use our glue, which of course I didn't cover up. We're going to just, sometimes I go from at a diagonal to those corners so that I make sure I get glue in the corners, because that's the spot sometimes we miss when we're trying to go around the edges. So I go like, I don't know if you can see that, but I go kind of to the corner, and sometimes I kind of push it off with my finger, especially something like this, because it's that embossing ink. It can warp the paper a little bit. And then I'm off camera, I apologize, but I can't quite see the black on my black mat, and I want to make sure it's in here. Sometimes I will cut it a little bit bigger mat and then cut it down, because this is a very small mat. And so I use liquid glue, a little wiggle room. And we're going to grab our magnets. And then what I like to do, oh, it's okay, Kate, you're okay. It happens. And, I'm still, it's still kind of a new time for me. And of course, every other week right now, if I can get myself a little bit more organized, I would definitely do every week. But right now, things are just a little crazy enough. I need to get myself, got other responsibilities right now that I've got too. So thank you, Misty. So I'm just using my magnets to kind of hold those down. I need to get a couple of the big bar magnets. I think they were out of stock when I went to order them. So I have these very thin pieces of metal off Amazon. I don't know if they're linked on my channel right now, but they will be tomorrow. And I just have them taped to the bottom of my glass mat, which makes my glass mat my Tim Holtz mat magnetic for now. Okay, so there we go, you guys. So it just needs to go on a card. But I think we got to have just a little bit of bling. And that little opening is screaming to me that it needs bling. Don't you guys think so? So I think I'm going to grab the crystals. Do we want the crystals or the hematite? What do you guys think? The hematite is black. Or do you want the more crystals that are more iridescent? What do you think we should use? Anyone have an opinion? I think I should probably I think I ordered an extra crystal because I knew I was using them a lot. Yeah, Noelle, and I have these two smaller ones, but I'd like one bigger one so that when I have a bigger project like this, I can set it right down in the middle. I only ordered two small ones to start because I wanted to know if they would work. I'll probably order some more of these. And then, of course, when you get them put together, you just have to slide it apart. Hematite. Okay, I got a hematite. We're going to use hematite. All right. I think so too, just that little bit of extra black. So I'm just going to pour some in. Like I said, I like to put them in the lid because then I can just shake them when I need to and they'll go upside down. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add these. Now these will take a little bit to dry because they're going on the embossing powder. I'm trying to do my best to get them right in the center of that circle. But if it's not, it's not. All right. If those of you know me, get your goggles ready. I'm coming with my pokey tool. Not my pokey tool, but my wax stick. And we're going to put them, because they're on this embossing powder, I'll have a little bit extra time that I can move them. So I was talking with a design team member earlier. We were messaging on our thing back and forth about, and I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing a rainbow card with this, but this isn't exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't going to ink it. I was going to use colored cardstock, but this worked. I forgot to get my colored cardstock cut out beforehand, and you guys didn't want to see that. Yep. So we got a lot. That's what I was thinking. That's why I wanted to do the black, the hematite. All right, let's get them in so I don't spill them everywhere. So I don't know if I said at the beginning, but Fletch found my craft room today. Well, he knows where my craft room is, but behind me here, back here, there is a box under a desk. And there's some old kits that I used to subscribe to, just a couple. And I think my refills, my few Copic refills are in there. And there's some sentiments that have been cut out and ready to be used in there. There's just a bunch of kind of hodgepodge stuff since I moved. And there were some plastic bags in there, and he found it today because I didn't have my chair in front of it. Here we go, you guys. Look at that. So now it's going to take a little bit for those to dry. So I don't want to move it around too much because it's on this. It's kind of like glitter stock. Now, yeah, I have a blue dot there, but we're just going to pretend it's not there. You can't see it on camera, but you can see it in person. There we go, you guys. We got it. Now it's a little bit after, so we went over by a few minutes, but I know it's Friday, so hopefully it's okay with everybody. I'm going to grab my other card here. These are the cards we made tonight. So I pulled the Cup of Sunshine die, and then everything else was from this release. All the other stamps, we've got the Bloomin' Heart stamp, we got the Happy Heart, which is the stamp of the month. And then this was the Spring Awakening stamp set. And then I used fairy dust embossing powder and everything, and some inks. And I think it's fun. So the only thing that really doesn't have any shine to it is my tips of my cup and my sentiment here. But thank you, Kate. So let me pull it up so you can see that again. So do not forget, like I said, there is the mystery box. And I shared the link in the chat, and I believe I shared it in the, if it's not in the description box, I will put it in there after we get off live. So we have the mystery box, and then there's the buy one, get one. If you buy the stamp set, you get the matching die for free right now through Sunday. Mystery boxes while they last. And this is the last week for the February release, and then we'll start over with March coming up next week. Or not next week, we have 1 week left, but you know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys all so much. Thank you for joining me tonight. Oh, this is your social life. Oh yeah, this is me too, Nikki. This is what we're my honey and I are homebodies. So please take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Good night, everyone.